Hello students, I am Dr. Mitsi Patel, Associate Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department, Silver Rock University. In the last lecture, we discussed about the basics of steam boiler, classification of steam boiler, certain criteria to selecting the boiler, selection criteria of the boiler, and we discussed about the various components of the simple vertical boiler. In today's lecture, we move further. Today we discuss about the mounting and accessories part. What is mounting, what is accessory, what is the comparison between two types of mounting, types of accessories, and we discuss each in detail. So first we talk about the boiler mounting. Before we start the boiler mounting, first we need to discuss the difference between mounting and accessories. Let's take one example. If I have a car, if I have a car and we don't have a four wheels or one wheel in car, then car will not run. Second, I will give you example. If I have a car but the brake is not available in the car, then my car is run. My car is run, but the brake is compulsory part in the car, automobile. Same like if I have a car but I don't have AC, I don't have a tap, I don't have a lights, LED lights in the car, but that all three are the not the compulsory things inside the automobile or car. That means based on that, what I am into say, if we are talking about the boiler mountings, all the mountings are compulsory for the boiler. If we are not using the mountings in the boiler, then my boiler get damaged. And what about the boiler accessories? Accessory, that means if we use the accessory inside the boiler, then what happened? My boiler looks good and the efficiency of the boiler may increase. So these are these two main points for the mounting and accessory is most important. Compulsory things must be required for the boiler is called the mounting. And if we use the accessories, then my boiler looks good, my boiler efficiency will increase, but it's not the compulsory. Accessory are the not compulsory, mountings are the compulsory. So first we talk about the boiler mountings, then we move further. In the next topic we discuss about the boiler accessories. So boiler mounting are the fitting and devices which are necessary for efficient operation and safety. The devices are usually mounted over the boiler cell. We already discussed when we talk about in the previous lecture we talk about the simple vertical boiler. So these are the 7 mountings. First one is the water level indicator, second one is the pressure gauge, third one is the steam stop valve, fourth one is the feed check valve, fifth one is the blow off cock, sixth one is the fusible plug, and seventh one is the safety valve. So all 7 mountings are necessary, compulsory for the boiler operation and safety. So first we discuss about the water level indicator in the boiler. So if you all know what is boiler, boiler is a device which convert water into the steam part. So there are two things, one is the water and second is the hot flue gases. Using that hot flue gases, water gets converted into the steam. So what is water level indicator? The water level indicator indicates the water level available inside the boiler. That is called the water level indicator. In the first figure you can see that it is a actual figure of the boiler. Actual figure of the boiler. This is the valve 1, valve 2, this is the glass tube, and it shows the current water level indicator. So here you can see these two are the, I will mark you, these valve 1 and valve 2, both valves are closed. What happened when the valve are open, then what happened, the water gets inside the glass tube, and here from the steam is got inside the glass tube. After certain times it will get equilibrium and it shows the water level inside this glass tube, so that we can consider the this much amount of water present in the boiler. It is compulsory we need to know how much water is present inside the boiler, because if water is not available and we supply the heat energy to the boiler, then what happen, boiler gets overheated, and after overheated it get an explosion may occur. That's why we have to know how much amount of water will present inside the boiler. Now, function and construction of the boiler, just I go through it. If you have any kind of query, I already explained the working and construction, all this thing from the figure, but just I go through the whole points. If you have any kind of doubt, you may contact me, or you may ask the questions. So what is the function? It indicates the water available or water level inside the boiler, already we discussed. It shows the level in the boiler drum. So what is the construction? Normally two water level indicator are fitted to the boiler. We may use the two or three water level indicator. So these are fitted at the front end of every boiler, and water level indicator consists the three cocks as a steam cock, water cock and drain cock. We already discussed about the two, steam and water cock. There is a one more cock, that is called the drain cock, and the glass tube. So the steam cock connects to disconnect the glass tube with steam space, and water for the water cock it connect and disconnect the glass tube with water space available in the boiler. So that what is the function of drain cock? The drain cock is used to drain out the water in the from the glass tube at interval to ensure that steam and water cock are clear in operation. That is the use of the drain cock. The glass tube is protected by means of a cover and made of specially, so that when we supply the steam from the steam cock, then my glass tube is not damaged. It sustains the certain temperature. Now this is the working of water level indicator. I simply go through this 4 to 5 points. You can just read it. So when the steam cock and water cock are open, steam rushes from the upper passage and water rushes from the lower passage or to the glass tube. This will indicate the level of the water in the boiler. Two balls are placed at the junction of the metal tubes. Under normal operation condition, the balls are kept full line circle is indicated the glass tube is broken. Then the ball is shifted from one to second place. So steam will rush from upper passage and water from rush from the lower passage due to the pressure difference between the boiler pressure and the atmospheric pressure. So the ball are the carrier along the passage to an end of glass tube, and then it close the passage. So when the glass tube get broken out, then the two balls are close the valve, and the steam run out outside the boiler is closed, and same for the water gets run out of the outside the boiler is closed. So this position of boil shown in figure by the dotted circle, thus the flow of the steam out of the boiler is prevented when the glass tube is broken. Now we talk about the second mounting is called pressure gauge. By default his name he indicate the function of him. The pressure gauge, it means it is a gauge which required to measure the pressure of steam inside the boiler. How it indicate? Here you can see the two figures. In the first figure we have used the C shape. Here you can see the C shape material, that is called the burden tube. That is called the burden tube. In burden tube, when the pressure gets come inside the burden tube, it get convert into the straight. It get to straight, become a straight. So then when it go become a straight, we connect the pointer and rack and pinion mechanism with the burden tube. So the pointer move from the dial gauge. If we remove the pressure from this tube, burden tube, then what happen? It get converted into the original shape, and our pointer shows the 0. Now we discuss the function. It indicates the pressure of the steam inside the boiler. Then the construction. The gauge is usually mounted on the front top of the cell or on the drum, because we need to use this pressure gauge for the measuring the steam pressure, and steam is available at the top of the drum. So it is having the dial which graduated to read the pressure in bars above atmospheric pressure, Burden tube gauge with its interior mechanism. We can use the Burden tube. It's called the Burden tube pressure gauge. So the circular band Burden tube of oval cross section is closed at the one end and the second end is connected with the boiler steam space, or we can call as a steam of the where the steam is available at the top of the cell. So the siphon, or we can call as a U-tube, is filled with the water which prevents a lot of hot of steam from the entering the pressure gauge and keeps the gauge cool. Otherwise what happened, the temperature of the siphon, or we can siphon tube, is more. So what happened, the siphon tube will damage. So close end of the Burden tube is attached to the toothed quadrant with help of link and pinion. We already discussed the racket pinion mechanism is connected with the Burden tube. So this quadrant meshes with the small pinion on the central spindle. What is the working? So when the pressure is applied inside the oval Burden tube, its cross section tends to become circular and free end will Burden tube try to become a straight. So if they go for the straight path, then what happens? So turning the spindle by the link and gearing, it will goes change the shape. So this causes the needle to move and indicate the pressure on the dial gauge with the help of rack and pinion. If we not use the pressure gauge, we already discussed about the mounting are compulsory in the boiler. So if we are not using the pressure gauge, then we not get the value of the pressure in the boiler. So if the range of the boiler gets 8 to 12 bar, or we can consider 50 to 60 bar, and if the pressure is goes on 60 bar, so what happened, the pressure goes on the 60 bar, so the boiler gets explode, or we can call it the boiler get blast. So we need to know each and every moment the what is the pressure generation is going on inside the boiler or inside the steam space. Now we talk about this steam stop valve. What is the function of steam stop valve? The function of steam stop valve is whatever steam is generated inside the boiler, using that steam stop valve, it get transferred from boiler to the required machine or required position where we require the steam. So with the help of this hand wheel, here you can see with the help of here this hand wheel, we rotate the hand wheel, then that valve is goes up. If the valve goes up from this part, here is the boiler steam space, then the steams get transferred from boiler to the required place. And when we not required to transfer the steam, then at that time we again rotate the hand wheel and that valve is closed. After the valve is closed, the zero amount of steam get transferred from boiler to outer where we require. Here you can see steam is get transferred by this way. You can see in the second figure. Now function of the steam stop valve is it regulates the flow of steam from boiler to the steam pipe or from one steam pipe to the another. So what is the construction parts? I just simply go through the point. You have any kind of query, you can message me, you can contact me anytime. I will help out. The function of is we already discussed, it's regulate the flow of steam. So now we talk about the construction. The common type of steam stop valve, the flange of valve body bolted on the boiler. What is the location of the steam stop valve? It's located at the top of the boiler. Why is it the top of the boiler? Because its function is to regulate the flow of the steam. So steam is available at the top of the boiler. So we can fitted the steam stop valve at the top of the boiler. So it consists of the valve seat and nut. The main body of valve is made of cast iron and valve seat made of gun metal because the steam temperature is more. The steam is superheated steam. That's why the temperature of superheated steam is more. So we need to made from that metal that the material will resist that high temperature. So when the steam stop valve is placed directly over the boiler and connected to the steam pipe line is called the junction valve. If it is placed near to the prime mover, then normally it's called the steam stop valve. So the lower end of the spindle connected to the valve over and pass through the gland and yoke and connected with hand wheel, and that gland is used to prevent the leakage of the steam. Why we are using the gland? We are using the gland to remove the prevent the leakage of the steam. That's why we are using the gland. Now working of the steam stop valve. The steam spindle is rotated by help of hand wheel. Due to the rotation of spindle, the valve moves up and down. We already discussed during we discussed about the figure. Just we go through the point. If you have any kind of doubt, you can contact me anytime. You can message me or comment on this video. I will surely help out. When the valve sit over the valve sheet, the passage of the steam is completely closed and the steam passage may be partially or fully opened by the movement of the valve of help out the rotating the hand wheel. The clearance between the valve and valve sheet regulates the flow of steam out of the boiler. If we require more steam, we have to open the more valve. If we require the less steam, we have to open the less valve. So in locomotive boiler, the supply of the steam is regulated by means of regulator which is placed inside the boiler cell and operated by the handle from the diver's cabin. Now same, we already discussed the steam stop valve. Now we discuss about the feed check valve. So what is the function of feed check valve? Here you can see the actual figure of the feed check valve, second and third one. Now we discuss what is the function of feed check valve. So we are using the feed check valve to transfer water from the outer resources to the boiler into the boiler. So here you can see same construction of steam stop valve. Here we place the hand wheel. If we rotate the hand wheel, the valve gets upward, and if valve gets spindle gets upward, the valve will remain open and the water from the outer source to transfer to inside the boiler. If you not require the water transfer from outer source to boiler, then what will happen? We rotate the hand wheel, the spindle goes down, then the valve will close. Here we are using the non-returning valve so that whatever amount of water gets inside the boiler from the outward, that not return back to the outer source. That's why we are using the non-returning valve. This is the actual figure of the feed check valve. Now we discuss about the function and the construction. So it controls the supply of water from the boiler when the feed pump pressure is less than the boiler pressure or pump is stopped. Main function of the feed check valve is to transfer, or we can call the supply the water from outward source to boiler. So the feed check valve is fitted in boiler or in a water space of the boiler just below the normal level of the water. If the normal level gets decreases, then what happen? Automatically the feed check valve open and the water gets transferred from outward to outer source to boiler. So it will we have to convey the main thing is we have to maintain the minimum level or normal level inside the boiler, otherwise it goes the boiler into the explosion or overheated part. So it consists the non-returning valve, water inlet pipe, outward pipe, spindle, gland and wheel. What is the function of gland? We are using the gland to remove or to prevent the leakages. We are also using the steam in the gland in steam stop valve. Now we are using the gland in feed check valve as well. So the outlet pipe of valve connected with and the delivery pipe of connected with the feed pump. Now simple working of the feed check valve is inlet and outlet pipe of valve expose different pressure at inlet valve of the feed pump pressure at and the outlet pipe of the valve the boiler pressure at. When the feed pump is in operation, the pressure of feed pump side inlet side is more than the pressure on the boiler side, or we can call as the outlet side. So this pressure difference lifts the non-return valve and it allows the flow into the boiler from outside source to inside source, or we can call the outward source to inward source, that is the boiler. Now next one is called the blow of cork. We discuss about the blow of cork. What is the function of blow of cork? Blow of cork nothing but it is a very important part of the boiler. If we supply the water, if we supply the hot flue gases inside the boiler, then what happen? In the boiler, certain solid sediments or impurities are or a clean we can call it as a clinker. All these impurities are collected inside the boiler. After certain time, we need to clear that boiler. Then we use the blow of cork. Using that blow of cork, we clean out the whole boiler. So it connected with the outer boiler cell at the bottom place. So here you can see this is the guard which we rotate. This is the shank yoke. This is the plug. In this side it is a hollow. In this side it is a solid. So what happen if we rotate with the help of guard? Then what happen? The hollow portion comes in this side. Now it is the position of off position. If we rotate this hand wheel, then what happen? Hollow portion get rotated like this. Right now this is in this position. If we rotate the hand wheel, then it goes in this direction. So the hollow portion is open this side. So what happen? Whatever impurities, whatever sediments, whatever solid particles are present inside the boiler, that transfer from this hollow portion into outside. So here you can see if we rotate this valve, this goes the hollow valve. Then water goes this side to this side. This is the actual figure of the blow off cork. Now what is the function of the blow off cork? So the function of the blow off cork is to discharge the mud and other sediments deposited in the boiler part or bottommost part of the water space inside the boiler. So why the boiler is in operation? Second one is it is also used for the drain of the boiler water. Hence it is mounted at the lowest part of the boiler. We already discussed. When it is open, water under the pressure rush out and thus the carrying the sediments and impurities outside the boiler. Now the simple construction of the fusible plug, or we can call it as a blow of cork. It is fitted on the boiler cell directly or through the short branch of pipe at the lowest part of the water space. It consists of a gunmetal conical plug having a rectangular hole and spindle with yoke as shown in figure. The plug meshes accurately into the similar casing and the plug spindle is generally rotated by means of a spanner on the top of the yoke, and two vertical slots are provided for fixing this spanner. Now we talk about the next and very most important mounting is fusible plug. Now what is the fusible plug? It is a one kind of small plug which are required to for the safety of the boiler. So what happened here? You can see the figure. In this figure, this black part I will mark you so you can get understand very easily. This black part is a one kind of made from the fusible matter. And what is the fusible matter? Fusible matter, that means at certain temperature it not get reacted, it not get melted, but after the range is increased from that capacity, then what happens? That black part or that fusible metal gets melted, and if this part two side part is melted, then this part, that is called the solid hopper plug, is go inside the furnace, drop inside the furnace, and this portion is open. When this portion is open, steam is rushed out, and the combustion will stop. So what is the location of the fusible plug in the boiler? The fusible plug is located above the furnace. The fusible plug is located above the furnace. Then this is the furnace. Here you can consider this is the furnace part. This is the furnace part. And what happened? Above the furnace, outside you can consider the water part. So when the outside the water is available, then the temperature of fusible metal goes down. So the fusible metal not melted. If you can consider, if we have a water and that all the waters get converted into the steam, and we don't have the new raw water at this moment, so what happened, the whatever place will take place by the water now in above the water is the steam. So if we don't have a water, then what happens, all the space are occupied the steam. So the temperature of the water is low, the temperature of the steam is high. So when the water outside that fusible plug or fusible metal, the temperature maintain low, then the fusible metal not get melted. So now what happened, the water goes converted into the steam. Now outward side all the space occupied by the steam, and that steam temperature is high. Due to high temperature, what happened, the fusible metal is melted. Both the side the fusible metal is melted. What happened, this plug is go inside the furnace, and from the outside the steam gets rushed into the furnace. And what is the function of furnace? In the furnace we are burning the fuel to produce the high temperaturize few gases. So the combustion will stop, and due to the combustion stop, the generation of hot flue gases are stopped, and due to the boiler not get in the burnout, or we can consider not get transferred into the explosion, because the temperature goes reduced down by slowly. Now the function, it is the used to protect the boiler against the damage due to the overheating caused by the low water level inside the boiler. It is fitted on the firebox, or we can consider the combustion chamber furnace over the combustion chamber furnace. So the fusible plug consists of two hollow guns and one conical plug is shown in figure. A hollow gun metal body is screwed to the firebox, or we can consider as a combustion chamber or furnace crown plate of the boiler. So another hollow gun metal is screwed to the first body. So third plug is made from copper is locked with second plug by pouring the metal into the grooves provided on the both the plug. We can take one practical example, like fusible plug is used in the boiler. So same kind of fusible plug we are using in the pressure cooker as well. Here in pressure cooker we have a CT. If the CT will not work properly, if we not clean properly, then it will be jam. So when the CT will not work and the steam gets generated more inside the pressure cooker. So what is the what is the main thing in the pressure cooker? We need to release that steam, and so we need to release that steam from the pressure cooker. So sometimes what happen, if the CT will be jam, at the topmost position we have a black color valve, so that made of the metal, gun metal, and if we have a higher temperature, then if CT will not get up, the valve will melted out. If the valve is melted out, here we can find the hole, and from that hole the steam gets out from the pressure cooker to atmosphere. So what happened? What happened? The boiler, the pressure cooker net got explode, or we cannot consider not get the overheating. So it will one kind of safety. So we can consider it is one kind of safety valve as well. Now the working of the fusible plug. In normal working condition, the upper surface of fusible plug is covered by the water, so which keeps the temperature of the plug below the melting point. So why other end of the plug is exposed to the fire or hot gases. The low melting temperature lead and tin does not melt till the upper surface of plug is submerged in the water. But in case of water level boiler falls below the danger level, the fusible plug is uncovered by the water and it gets exposed by to the steam, and the steam will occupy the space. So what happened? The temperature of steam is high. So due to the overheat, the plug and fusible matter having low melting point which melt quickly. So both the gun metal well melted. So the third plug drops down and the second hollow gun become open, and due to that the steam rushes out inside the combustion chamber or inside the furnace, and the combustion will stop, the put out the fire. So if combustion is stopped or put out the fire, then the generation of hot flue gases are stopped, and due to the hot flue gases generation stop, our overall boiler temperature gets down, and our boiler is not get into the overheated, or boiler not get the explode in the explosion. Now we talk about the safety valve. Safety valve is also the considered as the last mounting, but it is a very much important in the boiler. We have a different types of safety valve, but here we conclude the general function of the safety valve. So safety valve are located on the top of the boiler. They guard the boiler against the excessive higher temperature of steam in the boiler drum. So if the pressure of the steam in the boiler drum exceed the working pressure, that means if I have a boiler and the working pressure range is 70 bar to 100 bar, then there is a no problem. If the boiler pressure is exists above the 100 bar or 100 bar, then it will go in danger. So if the pressure of steam in the boiler drum exceeds the working pressure, then the safety valve allow the blow of the excess steam or excess quantity of the steam to the atmosphere to save the boiler from the overheating and explosion. Thus, the pressure of steam in the drum falls down and the escape of the steam make an audio noise to warm the boiler. Now these are the four safety valve which we are using the boiler. So there are four, but out of four there is a certain limitation. Then we go the next one, we go the next one. So in the deadweight safety valve, we discussed in detail. Second one is the lever loaded safety valve. Third one is the spring loaded safety valve, and fourth one is the high steam low water safety valve. In the fourth one we are getting the two types of safety. If the temperature steam the pressure is high, then also the safety valve will get on, or we can get operated. And if the low water level indicates the water level is no below the normal water level, then also the safety valve gets operated. First, we discuss about the dead weight safety valve. Here you can see the dead weight safety valve. Here is a structure is look like the city of the pressure cooker. What happened here? We need to add the two side the weight, dead weight. How many weight we have to place in the both side? We have to create the downward pressure. What happened? We have to create the downward pressure is 60 bar. Then we have to put that many amount of dead weight. If the downward to upward pressure is 60 bar, then the valve will not get operated. These are the certain parts of the safety valve. This is discharge casing, waste, valve, cover, vertical steel pipe, flange, and main is the dead weight. These are the dead weights. So if I put a two to here, we need to put two to here for the equilibrium. Otherwise, it will get unbalanced. Due to balance, we have to put both sides. Now we talk about the construction. It consists of the valve V is placed upon a valve seat which is fixed upon a long vertical pipe having a flange at the bottom from fixing at the top of the boiler. So the weight carrier D suspended from the top of the valve which carries the cast ring CI ring as shown in figure. So the total weight must be sufficient to keep the valve on its seat against the normal working pressure. If the working pressure is 60, then we need to maintain from the topward to upward to downward is 60, and we may have to maintain the 60 bar pressure working pressure, then we need to put the dead weight from the both sides. Now working. When the steam pressure exceeds the normal limit of the boiler, then what happens? This high pressure steam create the upward force and downward force is limited to 60 bar or limited to working pressure. Then what happens if upward force is fixed? Downward force is fixed, that is the working pressure, but upward force is not fixed. So what happened when the downward and upward force is equal? During working pressure valve will not lift, but what happened if the working pressure, downward working pressure is fixed but upward working pressure is not fixed? If we generate the exist the working pressure, then what happened? The pressure gets increased, then the valve is lifted and remaining excess amount of seat will escape from the pipe to the atmosphere or outside. So the construction of this valve is simple. It gives the satisfactory operation for low pressure and stationary boiler. It is not suitable for the moving boiler because when we will move from one place to another place, at that time what happen? The balancing will get disturbed. If the balancing will get disturbed, then what happen? The working pressure which we have fixed downward side, it will be changed. So what happened if the working pressure is 60, but when we move further the valve will get deflected. Valve will get deflected when what happened? The upward downward pressure will get deflected. If the steam are in the working pressure, then also the valve will lifted and it goes outside the atmosphere. So it is not suitable for the moving boiler as the force on the weight should always work vertically downward. So it is not suitable for the high pressure boiler because the steam gets become the large, or the construction of the valve is get large. But if we are large high pressure, that means we have 150 160 bar, then we have to put the that much amount of dead weight from the both sides. So the construction and working construction get little bulky. Now second one is the lever loaded safety valve. Lever loaded safety valve, here you can see the weights. In previous one what we are doing, we are putting the weight on the both the side, but we are using here is the single weight. So there are two kinds of issues in the dead weight safety valve. First one is the not used for the movable, and second issue is for the weight. If we have a high pressure boiler, then we have to put the more weights. So in the lever loaded safety valve, what we can do? We can use the only one weight at the end. Here is the valve seat. Here is the we can putting the weight. We can set the downward pressure. It limit the working pressure. But if working pressure is 60 or 70 or 100 or 150, but the pressure is exists the working pressure, that means if we have a 150 bar but pressure is created 160 155 bar more than the working pressure, then what happen? It goes the upward direction and exert the pressure on this of downward to upward direction. So the lever gets lifted, and the lever get lifted. After lifted, here the steam gets outward in the atmosphere, escape the atmosphere. Then if the working pressure from upward to downward and downward to upward is same, then again the valve or lever will place its original space. So the valve rests over the gunmetal seat which is fixed to the mounting block. The mounting block is fixed upon the boiler. So one end of the lever is hinged with the other end of the lever is with the carries the weight. As shown in figure, the thrust of the lever with the weight is transmitted to the valve by a sort of strut. So the position and amount of weight W decided the safe pressure limit, or we can consider the working pressure limit. Now we talk about the working of the lever loaded safety valve. When the pressure exceeds the normal limit and the vertical force on the valve is become higher than the downward thrust on the valve due to the weight W on a lever. So what happens? The valve is lifted from its seat and it weight with his weight, and the excess steam will get comes out from the boiler to the atmosphere, and this safety valve used only the stationary boiler. Here also we are not using this valve in the movable boiler. If we are using the movable boiler, then what happens? The movement of this weight is slightly more, and due to the lifting the weight, or the movement in the weight, what happened? The whatever we amount of downward pressure is set by the safe limit, it's get disturbed, and if it get disturbed, the valve is lifted within the working pressure as well. So this is the very most serious issue in the lever loaded safety valve as well. We have a two issue in the lever safety valve. Out of these two, one is resolved in the lever loaded safety valve. Now we talk about the spring loaded safety valve. So we remove the weight because the weight will get deflected and will disturb the working pressure, safe pressure. So what we have do? We have done the convert the weight into this spring. So here you can see the transfer diagram, or you can here you can see the we are using the spring in place of weight. So what happened when the stiffness of the spring is same as the working pressure, value of the working pressure, the spring is not expand when the pressure is within the working pressure or safe pressure. When the pressure range is increases or exceeded from the working pressure, the spring get expanded, and if the spring get expanded, the lever gets upward direction. If the lever gets upward direction, these two valves are open, and if two valves are open, the excess amount of steam gets outside in the atmosphere, and again the level, or again the value of pressure is in the working pressure range, then the spring gets its original position, and that two valves are closed in the closed one. So the function is that there is a various types of spring loaded safety valve used on the different boiler. Now onwards, the spring loaded safety valve is most important part in the boiler, and latest boiler, all the boiler are using as a safety valve is a spring loaded safety valve. So in the construction, it consists of a cast iron body having two branch of pipes. Two separate valves are placed over the valve sheet as shown in figure. A lever is placed over the valves by means of two pivots. The lever is held tight its proper position by means of this spring, and one end of its spring is connected with the lever, and other end of its spring is connected with the body of the valve. So the valve is kept on its seat with the help of swing force. Now, working of the spring loaded safety valve. So in the normal condition, the downward force due to the spring is higher than the upward force applied by the steam. So the valve is remaining closed due to the spring force. When the steam pressure exceeds this normal limit, then the upward force is value is more compared to downward force. So due to the steam pressure become higher than the downward force due to the spring, thus the valve are lifted from their seats, opening the passage, and the steam get released out of the boiler from the atmosphere to the atmosphere. And again we can consider the pressure gets inside below the safe limit. Then what happen below the safe limit working pressure, then automatically that spring gets take the original shape, original position, and the valve will remain closed condition. Now, today's last topic and last safety valve, that is called high steam low water safety valve. So this valve is operated during two issues. One is the high steam. If the steam pressure gets high, then also it provides the safety, and the water level is all decreasing inside the boiler. Then also it provides the safety to the boiler. So here you can see, I will show you this figure. Here you can see This is the float. What is the function of float? Float is connected to the upper surface of the water. If the water gets down, the water level gets down, then the float is also get down to touch the water surface. If the water surface goes down, water level is goes down, the float is also goes down. If float is also goes down, this lever get in this direction, turn in this direction, downward direction. So this lever gets turned in this direction. Then what happened? This pivot or fulcrum is apply the force on the upward direction. If this lever goes down, then turn in this direction, then the pointer is provide the force in upward direction. If the force provided to the valve, high steam valve in the upward direction, then the valve is lifted, and if the valve is lifted, then the excess amount of steam is transferred to from the boiler to the atmosphere, and it will escape the boiler. So our boiler will not get damaged or may not get converted it gets into the explosion, or we can consider the overheating. Second one is the if the pressure is high above the safe limit, or we can consider above the working pressure, then what happened? It work as a simply, here you can see this is the lever loaded safety valve construction. Same already discussed in the second one. Safety valve is the lever loaded safety valve. How the lever loaded safety valve will work, same kind of working will work here, by here, because it is a similar case of the lever loaded safety valve. Here we just added one safety for the low water safety. If the water level goes down, then this float goes down. If float goes down, this fulcrum will go this turn into this direction. If fulcrum is turned into this direction, the force will apply on this valve. If the force is applied on this valve, the valve will open, and if the valve will open, then the steam get escape from inside to outside, from to the atmosphere, from the boiler to the atmosphere. Same function for the high steam. High, if the pressure gets high, here you can put the weight. Then if we put the weight, then it restrict the safe limit. If the pressure goes exist or goes above the safe limit, this lever is lifted, and if the lever is lifted from this, here the steam will get escape to the atmosphere, from the boiler to the atmosphere, and our boiler will remain safe. So all these kinds of safety valve, or here we'll concluded our lecture. In this lecture today we discuss about the difference between mounting and accessory first. Second one, we discuss about the various mountings. We have a total 7 types of mountings. Already we discussed the first one, we discussed the water level indicator. Then second we discussed the steam stop valve. We discuss the steam stop valve, we discuss about the fluid check valve, we discuss about the blow off cork, we discuss about the fusible plug, we discuss about the safety valve. So these are the 7 types of mounting which we discuss during this lecture. In the next subsequent lecture of the steam boiler chapter, in the next lecture we discuss about the various accessories of the boiler. So we already discussed the basics of the boiler in one lecture. We already discussed the various mountings in this lecture, and we discuss about the accessories part in the next subsequent lecture. And after the next lecture, we discuss about the various kinds of boiler like Cochran boiler, Babcock Wilcox boiler, and so on. So friends, students, today we conclude our lecture here. If you have any kind of doubt, you can contact me, you can directly reach out to me, you can message me, or you can call me anytime. I will surely help you to solve your doubts. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much. We will meet for the accessories part in the next lecture. Thank you.